Hi and welcome back. So let's start with the basic questions we would like to cover in this lecture. Can I return a value explicitly in a constructor? Can I define a method with the same name as the class name? Can constructor throw an exception? Which access modifiers can be applied to a constructor? So let's try to add a return statement in the constructor. We can see that I have a compilation error immediately. The error is saying a void method cannot return a value. Okay, so I'll fix it by adding a return value of string. Great, the compilation error gone. Does it solve the problem? Well, no. We can see another compilation error saying the constructor person for conSample is undefined. Okay, so once I declare a method with the same name as the class, but with a return type, the compiler does not treat it as a constructor. So the answer for our question is that a constructor cannot have a return type because it's returning the same object which was created. Let's go to the next question. Can I define a method with the same name as a class? As we saw in the previous sample, it is possible to define a method with the same name as the class name and with a return type, but it won't be a constructor anymore. One more interesting question which may confuse beginner is, can constructor throw an exception? Let's try to add a throw statement in one of our constructor. And I will also add a throw new exception in the constructor implementation code itself. As we can see, the code is compiled and running. So you can answer this question with confidence. Yes, it is possible to throw an exception from any constructor. Another interesting question is, which access modifier are applied to a constructor? As we saw in our sample, we define constructor as a public by default. But should it be only public? The answer is that any access modifier can be applied to a constructor, public, protected, default, or private. If you're familiar with the singleton design pattern, it is using a private constructor as a way to create a singleton object. We will talk about it more in the singleton design pattern lecture. Okay, we answered quite a lot of questions related to constructor. Let's stop here for now. In the next lecture, I will continue with some more constructor questions. See you in the next lesson.